Today we are going to discuss in Java basic programming constructors in Java. It's the main topic in constructor. Okay, now can go to the topic. So, what is the constructor? Constructor in Java similar to a method that invoke when the object of the class is created. When the object of the class created, okay, when we invoke. Okay, constructor. One more example. One more thing. The constructor in Java in a simple term. Constructor in Java in a simple term is a specialized method responsible for initializing an object. It is created at the time of object creation. It is created at the time of object is creation, and that can be used to set initialized value of an object of the data members. Okay, so constructor is a responsible for initializing an object. Okay, it is created at the time of object and it can be used to set initialize the value of object data members. Okay, Java constructor is a piece of code similar to a method. This method is called whenever a new instance of the class is created. Whenever a new instance of class is created, when the constructor is called, memory for the object is allocated. Okay, constructor has the same name of that the class name does not have any written value. It is very important. It is very important. Does not have any written type. When an object form with a new keyword, it is at least one constructor is called. Default constructor. No constructor is available in the class. See one more example. How many types of constructors? Constructor is default constructor and no argument constructors and parameterized constructors. Default constructor, if you don't create any constructor, Java compiler automatically create no argument constructor during the execution of the program. This constructor is called default constructor. Okay, now we can go to the what is a default constructors. We can just demonstrations demo I can give it to you. What is a default constructors? What is a default? If you don't not create any constructors, Java compiler automatically create a new no argument constructor during the execution of the program. The constructor is called as default constructors. So this is the Java basic package. Create a class constructor demo constructor Java demo constructor. Now I created now here int a int b int a int b. Now a default constructor is called. Okay, create an instance obj equal to new obj. Okay. Now system.out.println default constructors. System.out.println a obj.a. Okay, one more thing. A value obj dot a. I create the instance using the instance I call to the A, and b value obj dot b. So if I run this one, if I run this one, see, default constructor A is 0, B is 0. So I am not allocating any value here. So compiler, Java compiler automatically create a default constructor here. Default constructor, don't want to create anything. So if you are not creating anything, default constructor automatically will be created. Okay. Now one is completed. This one is default constructor is completed. Next one is no argument constructor. What is the no argument constructor? If a constructor does not accept any parameter, it is known as no argument constructor. Okay, the constructor does not accept any parameter called as no argument parameter. Now we can go to the demo. Okay, so now I created one more class, demo, no arg constructor. So no arg. Okay, I can create this one. So arg, no arg. Okay, now I create a class. Okay, no argument, no arg constructors. Okay. Now I no arg constructor. A constructor does not accept any parameters. It is known as no argument constructor. Does not accept any parameters. Okay, like int into I using the constructor with no parameter. With no parameter. I am not passing any parameter. Private. I am using the private. When you using the private within the class only, this one will be accepted. Can be called. Outside the class cannot be called. This constructor. Okay. So I equal to 5 system dot out dot println system dot out dot println. Okay, out dot println constructor called. Now I can go there. Inside the class only can be accessed this one. Outside the class cannot be accessed using the private. When using the private, inside the class only can be accessed. Okay, calling the constructor without any parameter. Okay, obj equal to new obj standard out dot println value of I, obj dot I. Now if you run this one, clear, if you run this one, check it here. See, no argument constructor, no argument constructor, without any argument called as no argument parameter. If constructor does not accept any parameters, is known as no argument parameter. If I run this one, check it here. See, value is 50. Run this one. See, value equal to 5. Value equal to 5. So suppose if you are using the public here, suppose if you are using the public in this construct can be called outside of the class also. Okay, if you are using the private, inside the class only can be accessible, outside the class cannot be accessible. Okay, if you are using the public, outside the class also accessible. If you are using the public, in this class, outside the class, if you are creating anything, it will be accessible. Okay, so this is for the non-argument parameters. Now what is the last one? Parameterized constructor. What is a parameterized constructor? Java constructor can also accept one or more parameters. Such a constructor is called as parameter constructor. Okay, default constructor is a without creating any object. Just if you are not creating any constructor, compiler automatically created then program execution or when program executions. Okay, that is called as default constructor. No argument constructor is a, if a constructor does not accept any parameter, is also known as a no argument constructor. Parameterized constructor, the Java constructor can also accept one or more parameters. Such a constructor is also called parameterized constructor. You can go there, demo. Now I can create one more class like demo para constructor parameter constructor. I'm creating this one. Now this is a parameter constructor class. Now I can create the string language. Okay, constructor accepting single value. Constructor accepting single value. Okay, now I can create this one public. When using the public, it can be accessible without the outside the class only can be accessible. Public string language. And this the language equal to language also you can whatever you can need. Okay, if we are using this current object reference, you can use this also. Okay, not if. System.out.println out.println Java language name we are giving this type string concatenation plus there will be space will come to here. Languages Java languages name Java language name. Now you can go there call constructor by passing a single value so now create the object obj equal to obj1 equal to new demo equal to Java. Second one is object 2 Python. Third one is JavaScript. It's not language, C language. Like that we can use this one. Now if you run this one, what will happen? Now this is for parameterization constructor. Now if you run this one, what will happen? You can check it. Run as if you run this one, language name Java, language name Python, language name is C. Now the construct demo para constructor, here constructor take the single parameter. Here is a single parameter. Okay. Take here. Notice. Okay. We are passing a single value to the constructor. Based on the argument, variable initialize the inside the constructor. We are passing the value to the here language. Okay, this is called as single value parameterization. Okay, this is called as constructor. Now, what is the important rules of the constructor? The main thing is what is the important rules? Few important rules is there. Constructor. Okay, constructor are invoked implicitly when you are instance object. Instance object can be invoked. Two rules for creating constructor. The name of the constructor should be the same as class name. The name of the constructor should be named as class name. Okay, one class name and constructor name should be same. Suppose demo, here is demo, should be same. Okay, then the name of the constructor should be the class name should be the same. The constructor must not have the return type. Constructor return type must not have. Constructor doesn't have the return type. Okay, remember, if a class does not have a constructor, the Java compiler automatically create a default constructor during runtime. Suppose if you are creating the class, if you are not creating any constructor, inside the class, the Java compiler automatically create a default constructor. For example, into variable will be 0. Before I explain to you now, that is the thing. Okay, constructor types. Non-argument constructor. A constructor does not accept any argument called as non-argument constructor. And a parameterized constructor, a constructor not that accept a parameter arguments. When constructor accept any argument called as parameterization constructor. Default constructor. Constructor is automatically created Java compiler if it is not explicitly defined. It's not explicit, we are not defined. Automatically it will be created Java compiler, you can check it. Okay, a constructor must not have, cannot be abstract and static and final. This is important to remember. Constructor cannot be abstract, static, and final cannot be declared. Okay, constructor can be overloaded, but cannot be override. You can explain this one next class. Override and overload concept I can show it you. Constructor can be overloaded but cannot override. Okay, this is called as constructor. Please subscribe the channel. Thank you.